What's up, YouTube? This is Matt, and we're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Shop Talk, brought to you by me, inspired by Joy and Chad Wright. Today we got kind of a double whammy for you. I want to talk about two new tools, new to me anyway, and why you might want to consider buying one of them, and I think you should consider it. And the other one, I think you should run away as fast as you can from. I think it's a total dog. So let's start with the good stuff first, because that's more fun. So the other day I got a package in the mail from J. Edwards Guitars LLC. Now this was something, it wasn't like I was surprised by it. I ordered this thing and I paid for it with money. This didn't come gratis from J. Edwards Guitars. And it is the Fractal fret press. I got version 1.2 with a 3/8 arbor. So what's a Fractal fret press? And who's J. Edwards Guitars? First of all, I don't know who J. Edwards Guitars is, but I saw this Fractal fret press somewhere and I'm like, ooh, that looks cool. I'm going to buy it. And let me tell you, here's some bad news. They're not giving them away. It was an expensive thing for me. So maybe you guys have lots of disposable income. It's not expensive to you. It doesn't matter. Let me show you what the Fractal fret press does and is, and then let's use it. Cool? Okay, as you guys might remember, this is the fret press that I use to press in all of my frets. Here is a neck that is ready for frets. Here are the frets that are ready to go in the neck, and I'm going to be using this fret press. Now, up until the other day, I would have used this tool here. Let me get it in the camera. This tool here, which is the Stuart McDonald fret press arbor. And guys, I've had this one for over a decade, and I've got a bunch of them here in the shop, and they're excellent, excellent tools. But I wanted to try this because, let me see if I can get it in the picture here. Oh, come on, focus in here, would you? Let's try it from a different angle here. So this is the Fractal fret press, and as you can see, it articulates in lots of different ways, sort of like a rock crawler almost. Now, the cool thing about it is, one, it's all brass, so it's nicely done. Two is it conforms to the fretboard. Okay, I'm wondering why I can't get focused here. I hope you guys can see this better. It conforms to the fretboard rather than just like the StewMac one, which again is excellent. This is like a 10-inch radius. Boom, you get 10-inch. If your fretboard's 10-inch, good to go. But what if you have like a 10-inch radius and then you got a 7¼ radius? Well, you got to switch this little brass insert here. No big deal, but you just got to remember to do it. Now with the Fractal fret press, come on, there you go. As you can see, it just kind of conforms to whatever fretboard radius you got. I want to show you some other cool things, and then we'll do some fretting. Let's say you have a conical radius. That means you have, say, a 10-inch radius fret here and a 16-inch radius fretboard down here, and somewhere in the middle is everything in between. Lord only knows what it's going to be. You can get close with replaceable inserts, but with the Fractal fret press, it just conforms to the fretboard. So that's cool. The other thing is, you'll notice when I'm fretting that you can, it's a little narrower than the StewMac one, so you can feel them press in, and then I like to go to the sides and just kind of mash them down just on the edge. And because it articulates, it kind of pushes, puts more force just on the corners. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. Let's take these frets and this neck and this fret press, and let's do some frets. All right, I'm hoping that my camera is going to work for me here. We're going to use some StewMac number 20 glue, and we're just going to press it. We're going to squeeze it into the fret slot. Okay, and then I've got my frets are already cut to size, and they're already undercut. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to get my Fractal fret press call all lined up, and I don't know if you can see it, but it just goes right to the conforms to the fretboard. I got a little too much glue. Whoa, I got a lot too much glue on that fret. Holy Toledo. Well, that fret's not going anywhere. So like I say, then you can kind of come over here and put the press right on the edge and just give it a little more, and you can actually see it conform to the ends of the fretboard. So let's do a few more of these. Maybe use a little less glue on a bunch of them here, and see what she looks like. I'm a little shaky today, y'all. Getting old. So all of the other fretting that I do stays the same. You know, I still use the number 20 super glue. I still use blind fret slots. I still undercut my frets as if they were going in a bound neck, because in a way they are. And I still file a little groove in the top of the fret. I tell you what, and then instead of, but the only thing I'm changing is the fret press call. And I still like the ones I got from StewMac. They're really excellent. But this one here is, I tell you, I think this is going to be my new go-to tool. I really do like it. I tell you what, if I could apply glue accurately, I would be a dangerous man. It's not a big deal, you know what I mean, if you get a little bit of glue squeeze out, because we're going to do a lot more to this fretboard. Like when people come to workshops, they're like, I got glue on my fretboard. I'm like, don't sweat it. They kind of sweat it for a little bit, and I have to remind them, you know, trust the process, because we're going to clean all of that stuff off, and you're going to be super happy, but you just have to go through all the steps. And sometimes it looks like you're making a big mess, and you probably are, but if you've never done it before, you're like, well, when am I going to clean all this mess up? And the answer is throughout the process, which you should trust, right? The other neat thing about the Fractal fret press is it doesn't have a concave. The arbor isn't a concave. So what that means is you just are pressing down on the top of the fret. You're not encapsulating the fret in a piece of brass. Okay? And you know what? Like this thing I'm doing here, I probably don't need to, but I kind of like to. With the stuff, the fret press calls like I've been using for a while. They have a little cave for the fret to fit in, and that's really cool, unless you let's do one more. Unless you get that tool off the fret, then what can happen is you get a great big groove in your fretboard. Actually, let's do one more, because then we'll have 12 frets. You can press a groove with a 2-ton arbor press into your fretboard, and that's harder to get out than just some glue that's sitting on the top. So the Fractal fret press, because it conforms to the fret, and because it doesn't have a sharp corner or edge, rather, it's a little bit, I don't know, it's a little bit safer, I guess. You won't necessarily get a groove in your fretboard. Okay, so now let's take a look at let's take this our fret rocker and see all these frets are 100% in They're all good. There's no rocking back and forth. And if there is, you can go back and push them in a little bit more. But these look and feel great. So the Fractal Fret Press Arbor gets the official Texas Toast seal of approval, stamp of hubris, etc. I really like this thing. Like I said, the downside to this is they're not giving them away. This one was about, at the time of this video, was about $300, which I had to pay for, and I paid full retail for it, okay? So if you do a lot of conical radiuses, this is absolutely worth it. If you don't have this already, then yeah, maybe give it a shot. Oh, if you do have this already, the post is the same as the StewMac one. So if you have a press already that you like, you don't have to modify it or anything. You just pull this one out and put this one in, and which is cool because then you can put this one back in. You know what I mean? So the Fractal Fret Press call is definitely cool, and I definitely really like it. All right, remember I told you I was going to show you a cool tool and a totally craptastic tool? Well, let's get to the part where it's craptastic. So let's just cut right to the chase. This thing right here, I had high hopes for this. I think that in theory it could work, but whoever designed this one, I hope they run out of toilet paper tonight because this is terrible. The idea is, and I really like this idea, I use one of these files. When I'm done fretting, I snip the ends, and I use one of these files to grind everything flush with the fretboard. And then I have to use another file. I don't have to, I choose to use one of these files with a 30-degree bevel on it. Now, you could do everything with this file, or you could do this with a sander or something. But this is how I do it. You guys can do it any way you want. So what I do is I go ahead and I put my, I get everything flush. And then you could, like I said, you could hold this at an angle and just get everything with this file, which would be cool. But I like the precision of using this 30-degree block. And I've had this one for over a decade. I made this, you can make yours too. This one is so old, it's actually started to get a radius on the surface that hits the fretboard. And we have one of those Delrin ones floating around from StewMac too, but I don't know where it is right now. So then I saw this, and I'm like, this is cool because it has both. I should be able to do my my flat flush edge and then flip it around and do my my angle. The problem is that this is such a piss poor design that, well, it just doesn't work great. Let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about here. So your bearing surface is about, let's say, 1.25 inches or something. So you have to ride on that, and it does work, but because you've got pressure and you've got a file, it is possible to file a groove here. Whereas with this little race car file from StewMac, you won't do it. The file is not, it doesn't go into it doesn't bite into the wood. The other thing is, you can see you've got the same amount of bearing surface for the your 30-degree bevel. And that means you have to hold it exactly right. Now, look where the file is. If the file was down here, then it would be good, but it's not. It's up here. So it's like it's barely touching the fret. And it just kind of sucks. So, yeah, you can get these on Amazon, but you shouldn't, okay? Because they totally chug dick. So don't get this. I don't know who made it. I think the design, this particular one, is poorly done. I think that the concept has some merit, but this one just isn't good. So until I find a one-piece one of these that does everything that I want it to do, I'm going back to the little StewMac file and the little 30-degree bevel. By the way, I think before StewMac ever made these, we were making our own of these, at Roberto Venn. We had a table saw and some files, and we would just make our own. These are pretty cool files. You can make your own one of these too, but StewMac sells this, and they sell something like this. Just get these, link in the description below. I bought this one so you don't have to, because it is a POS. So don't buy this one until we get something that's designed better. That's as a multitasker. Okay. So guys, if you like this video, please go to our Teespring page and buy a shirt or something. You can also send me a super chat. You can help us out on Patreon. You can join us on YouTube, because from now on Texas Toast videos are ad free, which means you don't get commercials for Liberty Mutual or I don't know Chili's baby back ribs or something. It's just all guitar stuff and no dumb ads. But that means that it's cutting into our bottom line. And if you guys want to help us out and help us bring you cool content like this, and stuff that you should avoid like this, and stuff that you should definitely consider like the Fractal fret press call, please consider sending us a buck or two and helping us bringing you cool videos, okay? So if you can't do that though, just no sweat. We can still be friends. Just share the video as many places as you can and help us grow the channel that way. How about that? All right, so until the next time, this is Matt at Texas Toast reminding you that if you're so smart, start your own YouTube channel. That's what I did. We'll see you guys next time. Have a great week, everybody.